He was once a close ally of President Yoweri Museveni, a trusted doctor, a fearless soldier, and a high-ranking official in Uganda's government. But today, Kizza Besigye is known as Museveni's fiercest political rival. 4 failed presidential elections, countless arrests, and now a shocking arrest in Nairobi, Kenya. Is this the end of his fight, or is he preparing for one final battle? In today's video, we dive deep into Kizza Besigye's incredible journey, from fighting alongside Museveni to becoming Uganda's most persecuted opposition leader. As he faced endless arrests, does he still have a chance to defeat Museveni? Stay tuned as we uncover the truth. Warren Kizza Besigye Kifefe is one of Uganda's most influential opposition figures, a man whose political career has been defined by relentless struggles against President Yoweri Museveni's long rule. Once a close ally and personal physician to Museveni, Besigye later became his fiercest political opponent. His journey from being a trusted member of the National Resistance Army to facing multiple arrests, election defeats, and political betrayal is a story of resilience, sacrifice, and controversy. Recent events, including his arrest in Nairobi, Kenya, have further highlighted the challenges he faces in his fight for democracy. Besigye had fled to Nairobi in 1981 via the Malaba border to escape political persecution, as activists of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's Uganda's patriotic movement became target of the new Obote regime. In Nairobi, he was accommodated by his sister, who worked at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport for Uganda Airlines. While in Kenya, the first thing he did was to apply to the Kenya Medical Board for registration so that he could practice medicine in Kenya. The process wasn't complicated because Kenya needed doctors, and newly retrained doctors like him were greatly valued. After getting registered, he applied for and received a job at the Aga Khan Hospital. He worked as a doctor there and later at Kenyatta National Hospital. In 1982, despite the good pay, free food, and accommodation, Kizza resigned from his job in Nairobi and he joined Yoweri Museveni's National Resistance Army, a rebel group fighting to overthrow the regimes of Milton Obote and Tito Okello.
Now, what's your job with the NRA?
My job has been mainly in the deliverance of medical services, both to the soldiers of NRA and to the population around our areas of operation.
As a trained physician, he served as the NRA's field doctor during the Ugandan Bush War, 1981 to 1986, treating wounded fighters in the harsh conditions of guerrilla warfare. He also acted as the personal doctor to the rebel leader, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. After the NRA's victory in 1986, Besigye became part of the new government and was appointed Minister of State for Internal Affairs. He later served as the National Political Commissar and rose to the rank of Colonel in the Uganda People's Defense Force. However, his time in the military was short-lived, as he soon fell out with Museveni over governance issues. By the late 1990s, Besigye grew increasingly disillusioned with Museveni's leadership. He accused the president of abandoning the ideals they had fought for and turning Uganda into a dictatorship. His public criticism of the government in 1999 marked the beginning of his political warfare against Museveni. As a result, he was harassed, threatened, and eventually forced into exile. In 2001, Besigye challenged Museveni in the presidential election, marking the start of his long and painful struggle for power. He ran against Museveni in 4 presidential elections, 2001, 2006, 2011, and 2016. But in each case, he claimed the results were rigged to keep Museveni in power. Independent election observers also raised concerns about the irregularities, voter intimidation, and political interference. Despite his repeated losses, Besigye remained a powerful force in Uganda's opposition politics. He used mass protests, civil disobedience, and legal battles to challenge the government, but this only led to more arrest and persecution. At times, he was placed under house arrest for months, while his supporters faced police brutality.
Now tonight, Kenya is on the spot yet again for violating international rules by allowing the abduction of a foreign national. That's right, Uganda's opposition leader, Dr. Kizza Besigye, who was later traced to a military jail in Uganda.
Now, in the late 2024, Kizza Besigye was abducted in Nairobi, Kenya, under unclear circumstances, when he was going to attend a book launch by Martha Karua, a Kenyan opposition figure. Many Ugandans saw this as a betrayal by Kenya, a country that has historically been a refuge for African political dissents. Although Kenyan authorities claim it was a routine immigration issue, speculation arose that Uganda's government had influenced the arrest. He, alongside others, would later appear before a military court in Kampala, facing charges of illegally possessing a firearm and seeking military support in Geneva, Greece and Nairobi to undermine the security of the defense forces. They pleaded not guilty and were remanded at Luzira Maximum Prison. The abduction incident raised concern about regional politics and whether Kenya was acting in Museveni's interests. Regardless, the arrest highlighted how Besigye remains a political target beyond Uganda's borders. With the rise of new opposition leaders like Bobi Wine, many wonder whether Besigye will make another bid for the presidency or take a backseat. His influence on Uganda's political landscape is undeniable, but after decades of arrest and election losses, his political future remains uncertain. One thing is clear, Kizza Besigye's fight against Museveni has shaped Uganda's democracy and inspired a generation of activists. Whether or not he ever becomes president, his legacy as a fearless opposition leader will be remembered for years to come. His journey from Museveni's early to his biggest political rival is a dramatic tale of loyalty, betrayal and resistance. His repeated election losses, arrest and the recent Nairobi incident all point to enormous challenges faced by Uganda's opposition. As Ugandans head into the future, the big question remains, will Besigye continue his fight, or is it time for a new opposition leader to take center stage?